Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VCT Americas, where Sentinels has come alive here in the final week of play, putting up a 13-7 map score here on Split to take the first in the series against Furia.
Dash, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. We're right here. Sentinels versus Furia. 1-0 up. SEN need a 2-0, which is going to happen. Then, if NRG win against EG, it's happening. They're making plays. It's real.
The SEN magic is in the room.
It's back. I don't know what it is. You were right.
The SEN magic? Is it the Marved magic? I mean, again, we talked at the top of the day, right, about some of the changes that they've made and that can sometimes be a very freeing thing as opposed to a limiting thing.
Yeah, and I also think that it was big for Sentinels that they started the game very strong because it's a more like free environment. When everyone's rolling, everyone's confidence is high, you get more ideas from the duelists, you get more ideas from the support players. Everyone's chiming in because you're winning everything. You feel like you could throw any idea and it'll work. So when that's the case, often any plan is better than no plan.
And to that end, Mimi, typically when we see roster changes on teams, one of the biggest concerns is going to be how do they gel together?
Yeah.
We got a bit of our answer here in this game itself.
Yeah, first off, their style was really different than what I expected, playing way slower, doing a lot of these contact plays, but also the little pieces of coordination between the players were on point. In this one, you see that they spot Digis in backside in this anti-eco. Initially, the idea is Saucy. You see, he wanted to swing, but he waits. Here's the call that his teammate can double satchel behind, and they can pinch to get a more advantageous fight to win against that player in backside. It's little moments like that that have really impressed me with Sentinels in this first map, because VALORANT, for a new team, I think it can be quite hard to find those moments where you're slowing things down, calming with your teammate in just those little minutia that matter so much.
Yeah, no, the microcoms is what matters the most for these teams. Like, even the best teams, it comes down to the microcoms, and the fact that this new roster is putting together, they're slowing down the game, they're taking it step by step. Okay, we have sight. New event happens, there's a guy back sight, they don't rush it too fast. Yeah. They slow it down. Zek can satchel into elbow, let's double peek it. They're taking everything one segment at a time, and it's showing, and that's why they look so coordinated on each portion of the map. And man, they're looking good.
I mean, Zekin on the Rays, right? If we're gonna sing anyone's praises, it has to be him again. He's such a chameleon for the roster, so versatile. And on that double duelist here on Split, Mimi, he came up big.
He's just been performing ridiculously for the roster, and I think that playing this composition, double duelist, just makes so much sense for the squad. Because when they don't play the double duelist, Zekin is the guy who has to flex around. He'll lock in the Omen, sometimes the Sova. He's willing to do that. He's good on all those roles, but really where he shines is on this race, and it's where 10 shines as well. They just look fantastic when these players are given the roles that they shine on the most.
Yeah, we talked about the Zekin and 10s combo this morning, and look at the ACS here, 284 for 10s and 2.
They're holding hands on the leaderboard.
They're holding it down, baby. They're holding it down for the team. But yeah, no, definitely the agents complement Zekin and 10 super well. And because double duelist is becoming a meta on Split, it fits them perfectly. And like I said, it was going to come down to the tiny coordination, and it looks like they're hitting all of it. So they're looking like a great team.
And we saw the same comp come out from the other side of Furia. But in comparison, their confidence honestly looked shot. Whereas 10s and Zekin were running all over the place, so quick to find a different idea in the mid-round. Furia continued on the pace that we've been seeing, where it just looks so much more passive. They're struggling to have that confidence that made this team so good at the start of the season.
Yeah, there was that round 16, DG comes up with the ace where I was like, oh, maybe that's what they need for the momentum to start swinging. And you heard Brennan Joss talking about how momentum-based, confidence-based Furia can be as a roster. Unfortunately, they didn't get it done in map 1. They have their opportunity to even things up here in map number 2, though, as we check in with Khalil in our aim lab shoot-around. While DG was hitting shots, we're going to need somebody else like Zekin next to 10s to step up with him and start getting a few of those frags on the board.
Yeah, no, the team definitely needs to step up. Furia needs to step up right now. They're down 1-0, but now it's going to their pick on Haven. Like we talked about, the double controller comp. It's going to be able to kind of minimize 10s a little bit. There's a lot of harbor walls, viper walls that are going to block his lines, and if the support staff can step up a little bit and help DGs in, I could see them taking this to map 3.
We heard them talking about the fact that the preparation for the series was focused on themselves, not counter-starting a Sentinels who you honestly have no idea what they're going to play. And this is one of the maps where I think their game plan is the strongest. They have a ton of ideas with this double controller comp. Digizin looks incredibly comfortable, and the more supportive players get a lot of opportunities as well. Khalil tends to find quite a few lurk timings on this map and looks good when they play it.
Yeah, and just to add, the double controller comps definitely do help the support staff, like you said, because you're able to grab a lot of space with just one piece of utility. The Cascade can get you all of C-Long. A Cascade plus Flash into Garage can get you Garage Control. So it kind of opens up the players who don't have like the space closing utility to be able to take those close range fights, go up C-Long, get into the cubby, take A-Long, all that.
And my question now is, what does Sentinels play on map number 2 of Haven? Because we just talked about how Split is so comfortable with the double duelist, it all makes sense. Here they're gonna have to be flexible. What is Zekken gonna lock in? Will it be the controller, a second initiator? You can't really play double duelist in the same way on Haven.
Yeah, especially when you consider the telestrator that Sean did at the top of the day when previewing this matchup, specifically looking at Haven and the way that Furia enables Digizin to get onto sites, right? But how all of that is balanced so precariously, because often he ends up isolated, right? It's if the utility is there and perfectly placed, man, he's gonna 1-for-2 trade or something like that, and he's gonna put you in a winning position. But if everybody isn't on absolute point, Valen, then that kind of game plan can fall apart fast.
Oh, 100%. Especially as the duelist player, you need to have the support staff be helping you a lot, because the counter util is always going to be there. The other team will have the util to deal with the jet dash, whether it be Omen Paranoia, Astro Suck, Pop Flashes, whatever. So your own utility needs to be on point to get you the space to minimize the opponents being able to kill you and just get in a good spot.
And this is a composition that is quite complex to play on Haven. Double controller is hard, but when executed properly, it works so well. On the side of Sentinels, though, they went back to comfort, to the basic, a double duelist jet, or excuse me, a double flash comp with the jet on this one. I'm completely lying. It's not the Sky, it is that Sova, but still, it's the comp that everyone has ran forever on this map. Every team knows how to play it. It's not going to be crazy hard, and it gives role sets comfortable. Zekken having to flex over to the breach, well, not quite as proactive as the race. It's still a role he's great at.
Yeah, and just a small thing to add here, we see Marv picking the Astra over the Omen, so I think that adds much more cross-map utility, which helps on defense, and that's just a small pick, because oftentimes teams go for the Omen. So it's
a little shake-up in the comps. We'll see which team nets the victory here in map number 2. Let's find out, though, if we can go all the way to 3 as we send it back over to Brandon Sideshow for the call.
All the way to 3. I mean, Furia would love that one, but currently it is Sentinels in that driving seat. They took away map number 1. All smiles, Josh, when they're coming onto the desk. And listen, a bit of behind-the-scenes info as well. I was looking over at the player setups as well. The frustration was pretty clear early on for Furia, even at the beginning of map 1. I was looking at Khalil. It was his client that ended up resetting. It was a bit of a desk slam as well.
Before the game had even begun.
The hand warmer was going down onto the desk with quite some force before the game had even begun.
Yeah.
And I think for Furia, the task now is to really pull up the bootstraps and see if you can dig yourselves out of this hole, because let's be real here. Expectations, Fury making playoffs, that's really what they projected themselves to be doing.
Their pistol rounds have been good so far, which is crazy to say. They won both pistols and still lost 13-7. Got absolutely destroyed. This map, though, their pick. And they should be favored to win it as long as that confidence is still there, as long as they can perform at the level that we've seen them perform at before. It's a really interesting Viper wall that they've got too. But an alarm bot is in front of it, so that garage information is kept by Kankada.
That's the goal of the wall, I think, just in case the Killjoy turret is used in a close corner.
But it also blocks off one side of B if they do go for a B hit.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose. Instead, though, Furia grouping up towards A-Long. And that Cascade is going to keep all 3 players on Sentinels rooted to the A site. What's the decision here? There's still a lot of time in the round.
They haven't cleared any of the prior util.
There are quite a few options that Furia can still go for, but I'd like to see something decisive. Something that indicates the confidence is back for this team.
Down to 35 seconds on the pistol round, nevertheless.
Wow, and they're swapping up the play.
30 seconds left.
QCK still looking to lurk.
Dash is active, though, so there's going to be that explosive presence behind it. Orb in their face slows them down, but no intention from Sentinels to fight this one. All the way back. Tens, though. Oh, that is rapid.
That's on the lurk.
Yep, on the lurk, catching QCK, so an important first kill. Walls in their face, make it a bit more difficult. Flash into the side. MW holding close here. Needs to get 1 or 2. He's going to be faced here with his teammate. Darts, Marv covers. Wider swing, the frenzy's at play and doing a lot of work. Carving out the path, and it's clean so far. 1 player standing. Pistol in the hands, but the swing to contain. Sentinels winning that pistol round.
It's a massive one for them. You want to keep the foot on the throat, to be honest with you.
Team
Sentinels
Ace.
want to keep Furia down. They need this map as well. This is not a situation that you often see. But towards the end here, just to reiterate again, SEN need a clean 2-0. It is way easier for them to make playoffs if they can win here on Haven.
Just an outcome that, listen, no one was really expecting. Anyone with an analytical mind. Listen, maybe the fans, I'm not calling the fans not analytical, Josh. Listen,
It sounds like it.
I wouldn't say that. I
Sounds
would
like
go,
it.
listen, I don't want to attract the ire of the Sentinels fans, but let's face it, the odds were so damn low heading into the beginning of today.
The deck was stacked against them, but Sentinels are forcing Furia to play 52-card pickup. They are just on the floor scrambling.
Aggressive angle here. Marshall to the chest. Could be a wallbang. I'm not sure if MW invested into armor that round or what, but Marshall did not bring them down, and he's getting good information. A reposition now into short. Could be troublesome. Rest of his team trying to help him out now, flooding into the back, but potential danger. Smoke to try and cut up the site. You can see that's that global presence that was being discussed earlier. Valen was talking about it with the Astra in play other than the Omen. Still, exchange, it is 3 versus 3, and the walls are making this very difficult to pass through.
Tenza slipped himself around. The first contact now becomes the backstab.
Yeah. The damage is done.
Remaining.
QCK low enough that one shot will do it from most of the weapons. There it is. Okay, so it could have potentially been dangerous, but no. Second round cleaned up. 3 of their players surviving.
This is where the game's really on. You see the focus from those Sentinels players. Not all smiles and laughing just yet. It's gone from being an outside chance to seriously capable. Sentinels realize that they've got a great shot here. And the bonus round is going to have some danger behind it too. A couple of Bulldogs. Not the best bonus round we've ever seen. But they're shifting things around too. Tens with a stinger. I mean, it's a 4-player stack on C. Are they going for some aggression here, perhaps?
It seems like it.
They found the area that only QCK is holding. This Viper wall has been transitioned. They've been throwing the one towards Garage in the first 2 rounds. Now to the C wall, which is going to be one of their primary walls, along with one that lands A.
Pixel angle for the info. Sassy. Did a lot of damage there, actually. Landed the shot onto Dezine, so has to get healed up. Patient, cautious, however you want to call it. That's how Furia are playing this one with a minute left onto the clock. They don't want to give away anything too easily, but all that early aggression down C, Tens has been posted up there from the beginning of the round, so he knows that there's no lurk onto C. Playing all the way back now, just trying to survive, but the site's going to be theirs. Risky from Mart, 39 health. Any bit of spam could have done it. And Fury, though, that's going to be committed. Target acquired, target found, and damage is done. As the plant is denied there, Mazine finding it troublesome. 30 seconds. This time nothing to really dissuade that.
Spike planted.
There is danger behind this one. We'll see what Sentinels can achieve. Crossfire setup's good. And how do they want to try and fight this? Aftershock in a corner. That forces the Dezine forwards. Snakebite's going to be used in response to make sure nobody can push forwards. Pinged into the corner, vulnerable. Oh, that was Dezine walking into his own team. Snakebite time. Running a bit short. One shot through the box. Weak enough, Khalil has handled an easy one, yet now it's down to MW. And this is more than dangerous. Up to the top, high ground. What is that?
Very nicely handled by MW, but that got far too close. Far too close. Furia barely fended that off, and there was only 2 Bulldogs. There was stingers and other things, and you know, Hunter's Fury invested for sure, but they struggled with that. That is not the kind of round that's going to break confidence.
Struggle, but get over the obstacle nevertheless, so
they get through it, and there's some major ults to work with here. Sassy's fine to invest his Hunter's Fury in the prior round. There's no lockdown, nowhere near. But Mazine is Mazine's got his Reckoning online, and that could be great for an A hit. There are so many players A-long right now.
So Reckoning's going to be used to clear them close here. The stuns are doing so much work, and, well, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They know where Sassy's contained. Has to avoid it, has to dodge, and Duke can move out the way. Zekken doing his best to contain, but that attempt to push back any of that was picked apart.
Yeah, they didn't find the timing for the A-long regress. Also, the breach flashes just aren't that great into all of the Harbor utility.
No, especially double smokes with the Viper and the Harbor, the walls. You'd really prefer a Sky, I think. Give you more options with that, but...
Right, but at the same time, you know, if this is the comp you've been running with, you don't want to change the comp at the last minute.
Exactly. You're not gonna make those kind of swaps.
But it is going to be difficult for Zekken throughout this defense side to find value, I think. With those flashes, he's got to be very precise on the walls that he picks. And more so than that, the timing was just not quite there.
Yeah.
Mazine's Reckoning gets tons of value, and Sentinels are going to be forced to save.
Furia needed that.
Yeah, they definitely did. A nice clean round. Cleaning up all of that aggression. And they also got another interesting piece of info that the operator was playing away from the 3-player stack. So they had, it's quite a bizarre setup, to be honest, from Sentinels here that they've called. The double initiator and the Astra playing together on an aggressive play with the operator on the other side. The eco round looked dangerous previously. And Sassy, he's going to go for a hero bulldog.
That is interesting. Drop the 500. Tens. Save the op. Keeping it active, but you can see how difficult it is to get any sort of value when you got the harbor walls in your face, high tide cascades, all the common positions, and it's a similar play from Furia. Take that A-long control, use an ultimate to clear them forwards and clear them fast. Tens. Oh, he doesn't know which way to look. There's a pull. Gave him a relatively easy shot, but he is just being chunked down. The bullets finding their mark. Zekken at the back of the site. And Sassy, he's been granted an opportunity. Smoke in his face, he can weave, dodge in and out, but the back of the site now being cleared up, and lovely movement, lovely reset. MW with 3, precision being the name of the game.
Okay, I was waiting for the first Furia player to look like they had something going for them today. And it's going to be MW by the look of things. He dropped 30 as Sky in one of the games previously on Haven, and just absolutely took over. And he is fired up.
Yeah, and I think that is necessary.
Yeah, getting any of these players online. I mean, Khalil in week 1 and 2 looked like the best player in Americas. We haven't seen that form from him, you know, in recent weeks, but certainly not today. QCK's been fumbling. Dejazine doesn't look like he's been able to get any impact. You know, he had the operator all the time on split, couldn't find value. So we've really been waiting for somebody on Furia to pick things up. And then W comes out with a great series of kills there, albeit on an anti-eco round. And SEN are going to take a timeout here to address what's going on. They've got to be putting the focus onto that A defensive hold.
Yeah, I think their initial game plan is to try and play it really aggressively, because if you're trying to retake through A against the double wall, you have so much util to get through. They have snake bites to deny, even the nano swarms, any sort of attempt to try and get into the side after that. So it seems like the game plan is to revolve around fighting over A, making sure that they can't quite even get the plant down in the first place.
And I do want to point out the harbor utility that Mazine is using. So he's running a high tide that allows them to take a bit of a long control, and then it also cuts off short.
Yeah.
So it becomes very, very difficult for Tens to get aggressive and, you know, get him posted on lines towards short or long. And I doubt the Sentinels have had a lot of practice against a comp like this. So a ton of these adaptations, like the 4 players stacked over towards A right now, are going to be all on the fly.
Really going to test them, the knowledge that's capable. Shakhtar connects. Angle fight taken. Sassy. Quite win it. Dejazine finding that target. There's an aftershock. Does force out the dash nevertheless, so Furia willing to slow things down still with that player advantage that they've got.
And they've traded Sassy for a long control. They tried to double, triple face, and then they were planning to push in front of the cascade, so they've posted Tens up incredibly deep here.
I mean, I respect this play, but the dog, it hasn't been used, and now it's going to be used to clear it. It doesn't have dash. It's so damn risky. There's a stun, though. Fault line. Rips his way across, buys him some space, but Mankata also getting chunked down in the middle of all of that.
1 HP. And TenZ has been pushed away. The Trailblazer did not give him any ability to stay around that A-long push position. And Sentinel's defensive setup is
30 seconds
so
left.
grouped up.
Yeah, so grouped up.
Down.
Second with that. Rolling Thunder. That's just timing. Sound cue caught. Pancada surviving, and he gets off the lockdown because of it. Needs to be broken. Spamming it down. MW gets out, not quite. Brought down. Time running short. They know that there's that pressure on them, and a fight is critical. It gets one. QCK staying alive and breaking down Marved. Spike getting planted. 2 players left standing. Shots need to be hit. Shots need to be landed. Not enough bullets left. An exchange. Doesn't quite get the gun up in time. So this is Furia. Very good handle in terms of how they wanted to play this attack side, I think. The way that they've just been cutting down the time, picking and choosing their timings really nicely as well.
And always pushing Sentinels away from those early areas. SEN had no info towards A that round. They had 3 players stacked on B and 1 in garage. And any play that Sentinels are cooking up here looks so improvised, because I would suggest it's probably that they haven't played against these comps in scrims.
No.
And it's all theory. I mean, even that final moment, Zek and team flashes TenZ. You know, it just looks...
Oh, the dart.
rough.
Didn't connect. It leaves Sentinels a bit unaware. I mean, listen, taking risks. Close to the angle though. TenZ rips off 3! Dasher disengage. He's got another one in his back pocket from those kills. Well earned. And it's forced this pivot. Scrambling now. 2 players left standing for Furia. It's a free sight.
Pancada's got a decision on his hands. Does he want a rifle? He would have to go all the way back away from this retake in order to pick one up. It might just take too long.
Viper's Pit. Time not available. What a shot to hit. And this is nigh impossible. With the Viper's Pit, no rifle, turret in your face, that's going to be catching contact. Peppering him down. 4 in the chamber. 3, 2, 1, double face, double swing! My, oh my. Started to believe for a second.
Shouldn't have been doable. An excellent, excellent try by TenZ. The 3 kills he gets with the Blade Storm, he goes above and beyond. But outside of these glimmers of individuality, the game plans have not been working. They can't stop Furia from taking A lobby control. And as soon as they get that area, they take long and they take short. What are they going to do? Fight like that and ask TenZ to get a 3K every round? It's just not... It's not replicable. And at the moment, this is a carbon copy of Split, but with the teams flipped upside down.
Yeah, reversed. Look at this. Pointed out before, just funneling it forwards with the walls. Viper's wall not actually up though, so the site's going to be wide open. Tap with a rifle. Bullets flying past and doing that damage to Pancada, but everyone surviving from Sentinels, looking to try and get this retake going, but look at how difficult it is. The one way, the cascade, the extra element of the Seek is now pushing them back and just buying just that much more.
Once this Viper Orb goes down though, they've used the cascade already, so it will offer an opening.
TenZ's dash, active now. Needs to try and get into the back of the side. Flash, into the smoke, spamming it. Into the corner, not landed. Stun as well. Where's the rest of his team? Really being denied entry. Time running so damn short. The crossfire setup all over the place. No one can grasp any sort of map control towards the back. And Furia, you're going to be winning this one. 2 left standing. Vacating, getting out of there. Got to keep the rifles intact. And the money. To Jazine. He's got money to buy.
Yeah, he really
No
doesn't mind.
there.
It's max money for QCK. Because Furia have been on such a run. They're probably just going to be able to buy now for the rest of the half, no matter what happens. That's the level of economic cushioning that Furia have access to. Sentinels can't retake into this comp.
No.
There's way too much. I think you did a great job of pointing out all of the different layers that they have to get through. But Sen also can't fight early either. They haven't been able to win the opening, like early skirmishes for map control. And a reminder again of how important this is. Sentinels are going to take a timeout here to adjust the course that their ship is on. Yeah, really early. But to reiterate, if Sentinels win, but it's 2-1, this is how important Haven is. If Sentinels win, but it's 2-1, they need EG to beat NRG, They need Leviathan to beat Loud, and they need MIBR to beat 100 Thieves. All three of those have to happen.
So all three of those upsets need to occur, basically.
Yes. And that is with a Sentinels victory on Bind. So that's why Haven is massively important, because it simplifies things, it makes things possible for Sentinels to make playoffs. It's still not in their hands, but at that point, they've done everything they can.
Yeah, chaos in the standings.
This, though,
caused.
This is an enormous deficit. And what a turnaround for Furia.
Yeah.
Just immediately pulled themselves out of the horrible spot that they were in on Split and look dominant here with this composition on Haven.
It's such a difficult ask, I think, as well, because the key to victory, you know, as we've been mentioning, is to try and deny the plant even going out in the first place. Sentinels have been trying that, you know, we've seen the A lobby aggression, all that util being dumped early on, but even still, it's, you know, one thing to have the theory, they just don't quite have the practice.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that's worked very well against Furia and Loud, who run this comp, is flood defenses on sites.
I suggest you move.
Here we go, the Reckoning on a C-split.
Yeah, and this is a classic play. We've seen this one. Walls spotted, jump spot though. Tens finds his mark, dash back to disengage, he's low. 5 health to him, Hunter's Fury. Buys him some space, buys him some time. And the kill is claimed,
Spike
but still
down,
Tens
C.
falls. And this lurk, MW.
Marv's
Oh,
got it, though.
timing. Marv's off to the side. Yeah, okay, well not before MW does claim one. Lockdown, pushing them back. And you can't break it. You have to wait it out.
This is a lot of time off the clock.
A lot of time off the clock. Risky with the Jazine, but it's a 2v3. A kill here would be tremendous. Shorty in his hands. 150 credits, by the way. Left up to Khalil, though. 1 versus 2. But he does have time as his ally. 1 fight isolated, but the util in his hands. Absolutely the wrong timing for that.
And that's the first post plant that Furia have lost
Team Ace.
since the pistol and follower.
Like clockwork.
So Sentinels finally find something that works. And to be honest with you, it's, what, forcing Mazine to use a bad Reckoning? Look at this Reckoning. It doesn't tag onto the operator player in backside, so Tens is able to get his spot and buy enough time for Sassy to ult and things to get really shaky. It's not some kind of big game plan adjustment.
No,
it's just a mistake from Furia.
And it's come down to Sentinels just capitalizing off of it. That was an expensive round to win. Only one player surviving. See how strained that economy is. Still with a decent buy online, but the util's not there. So
Tens is opping right behind this man.
Oh, and this wall, yeah. I mean, the dog, does that spot that? Pull. What? Scoped up still to Jazine. Oh my goodness. Clawing his way into the back of the site and 2 players removed.
You do not want an op!
He picked up the op at the back of the site. It's okay. Scrappy. And MW. Blind fire into the smokes. Khalil containing. Popping them out. Okay, why not?
A nice side hit from Furia, though,
pretty well
showcasing
myself.
how aggressive they can get with Dejazine. Dejazine's ready to collect Tens when he dashes backwards. He dashed away from the first kill, and he fell into Dejazine's lap. That's how aggressive that entry jet was. And then instantly follows up with the kill onto Marv.
Yeah, he's on fire.
As soon as the gears start turning on this Furia squad, their player quality is very dangerous, very difficult to stop.
Bot coming back.
It's a full eco from Sentinels. They've just got classics. This half is going to be disastrous for them.
Yeah, an attempt to punish. Players vulnerable up, but you're right, Josh. Looking at least 8 rounds now for Furia. Because Lord knows they ain't winning this retake now with the classics.
No, and even if they had managed to generate some kind of player advantage, Zekken was the one with the big retake ultimate. Pancada, when he dies or gets a kill, is going to have that lockdown for the next round, so big ults for Sentinels to try and recover this one and end with an 8-4 half. Maybe that'll be enough.
Tens with the knives. Looks like a double face over in Furia. Yeah. Jiggle of the movement. Smoke in their face. At this point, seeing what they can get done, but really, economic damage isn't even on the table here because Furia have enough money. If they lose these guns, they're fine to buy for the final round of that first half. Pancada needs to go down to somebody here to... Okay, got his ult online. Return to fire there.
Last player standing.
But it's going to be that 8th round for Furia claimed. Great game plans. Their attack side has looked so fleshed out.
And what kind of game plan do we have for this final round of the half? This could easily make the difference between Sentinels making it to playoffs or not. Getting 4 on the round, getting the pistol afterwards, and you've still actually got a hope on Haven. But at the moment, it all comes down to this one. Lockdown. Rolling Thunder as well. Huge retake ultimates, should they choose to invest them. But do you want to allow Furia to get the plant down? Maybe they can try and use the breach shot as a bit of a flood attempt. They're leaving A very open currently. These players on B can quickly help Marv.
They're floating over.
But it's too early.
I mean, it's very early, isn't it?
I mean,
even if they wanted to use the Rolling Thunder, he's got 3 teammates in front of him on second, but...
Mazine's high tides are so cool. This one as well blocks off all information for anybody holding on C, so they could have just been contacting up. Now Marv with a jiggle identifies that Dujazine is a long way away.
And it's a back and forth scramble. Just looking at the minimap, I mean, Sentinels, like an ant colony, just C to A.
Scurrying around.
Yeah. Cutting the noise now, though. Dash forward, blinded, though. The miscommunication. That's a lockdown used. Push them back. That was used in response to all of that utility. And, oh, pushing all the way through. Tens. No patience really being showcased, but he gets his one and potentially gets out. One-way smoke, flash through, doesn't dodge it. Run and gun. You have got to be kidding.
Down A.
Finds it. Bailed out. Rolling Thunder. Pushing them back. Reckoning now. At their feet. No clean fight to be taken. This is Furia trying to barrel their way forwards now with some brute force. Using the ultimates there. Knives in the hands, a re-clearance, a re-push now, 20 seconds into it. Got to get themselves onto the site. That's Furia's goal. Down into short. It's a scramble. And it's going to get scrappy. Flash is being dodged left, right, center. Doubled up. Fight to be taken. Fight's being won. One player standing. It's Mazine. He will fall. So... what was necessary for Sentinels, they get that 4th round, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance in hell.
They've made the adaptation. Perhaps it was too late, but they did make the adaptation. Lockdown used to stop them getting into C, ult being used to stop them from pressuring 10s on A. They had the right ideas. Question is, are they going to be able to keep that going into the next half?
10 seconds left.
It's desperation time for Sentinels here.
It comes down to that pistol round, but for Furia, I mean, they got to be feeling good about this one. A pretty tremendous lead, and despite those tough losses the last few weeks, Furia's Mazin is confident in the team's prospects and their map pool. Check it out.
Apesar de a gente ter começado o campeonato bem em número de vitórias, eu acredito que a gente tem evoluído bastante nos últimos jogos. A derrota também ajuda bastante. A gente tá pegando também times de alto nível, então a gente precisa aprender com cada derrota. Não só derrota, mas cada jogo que a gente tem. Então é isso, a gente vem evoluindo bastante, a nossa map tá ficando melhor. O começo do campeonato a gente estava jogando poucos mapas, isso era um problema. Hoje em dia a gente se sente confortável em quase todos os mapas, então essa é uma parada que tem ajudando bastante a gente. Principalmente que a galera tem banido bastante a SEN, que era um dos nossos picks. Então é isso, a gente tá confortável, o nosso map pool tá mais extenso e a gente tá trabalhando para poder fechar esses jogos que não estamos conseguindo fechar.
I agree with everything he said.
Yeah, sure. Multilingual, are you?
Yep.
Where were you hiding that talent?
Oh, I've got lots of talent hiding.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Well,
I like to show as few of them as possible.
Just to bring them out for a bit of a surprise. Let's find out then. Bit of time left, of course, in that halftime.
And here you see the tweets of the Sentinels fans desperately clinging on to the last shred of hope that their team is going to make it to playoffs. And I think it all comes down to the pistol round. If they're able to get the pistol and bring this back to an 8-6 game, maybe SEN can find the answer on their attack side. Remember how good their attack side looked on Split? They just had very basic ideas. They took some A-ramp control, called some mid-rounds. I think they could do the same here. Take A short, take Garage, call some mid-rounds based off what Marv sees or what Sassy and Zekken see.
There's half of them been playing those adaptations. You could feel the energy that's being sent by some of those Sentinels fans in the tweets, Josh. It could power a small city. There's a lot of it. They all want to see it, that 2-0, but that 4-round deficit. So much importance placed on that pistol round. And time to dwell, time to think. But now time to get into the action here for the second half of Haven.
And we'll take a look at what's going on. So, Furia, they're not usually as good on the defense side. This composition also, I think, trends attack and favored. I think they've got so many tools with which to take sites and play post plants, but that becomes a little more difficult for them when they're playing defense. So the stage potentially set here as we take a small pause.
There's just a bit of a free camera shot.
Yeah, I like it. It's cinematic.
It is cinematic.
It's cinematic.
We're always good at those. Now here we go, unpaused. And so finally back into the fight and back into the half. Sentinel's gonna need all the energy and more to bring this one back to even. The chance to try and grab this one in a 2-0, they'd love it.
Dejazeen's got a sheriff. He pulled that one out on the split pistol rounds as well, and it ended up being incredibly important. Early flash, nobody A lobby.
Furia are so good at these pistol rounds.
But also, Sentinels have mixed up a ton of contact plays in today. Oh, that doesn't break any killjoy util.
No, forwards here, vulnerable stuns, layered one after another. There's a gap in the play here, the one side of the connector. Fight can be taken, tap with the ghost. Accuracy is not quite there. Still there, exchange of the weaponry. It's 2 versus 3. Sassy round the back and round the side, cannot do it. Falls down there to the frenzy clip. Fury with that consistency.
And this is now going to make it so difficult for Sentinels to get that clean 2-0. Fury are back in the game. They've won 3 out of 4 of the pistol rounds. Their attacking execs were lovely. Post plants, delightful too. And they're up 5 rounds, potentially 6.
Turret out.
Yeah, that was a really heavy rush there towards the B site without too much clearance of the util. It was a slow beginning. Don't get me wrong, just waiting to see if there was any sort of push, but what do you even do here with Furia in such a commanding lead? Nazine, confidence is there to hold this one. That's a double push, but again, the harbor slow from the wall. It chews you up and spits you back out when there's someone waiting.
One enemy remaining.
Not even a jump in right click can save you.
Dejazeen goes to try and help his teammate there, and they clean things up very easily.
Clean slate. Let's leave whatever happens.
Fury
in the
have really got
past.
everything working now. The cogs are all meshing. Things look clean. We're potentially going to see another double duelist matchup on Bind. But, like I've been saying the entire time, if things get to Bind, it's already probably too late for Sen.
So many outcomes that would need to happen. You can feel how important this is for Furia. They finally got that confidence back. Dejazeen, MW sitting near the top. Here we go.
Whoa! Where's that one going?
A bit skew with, not sure. Tem was there to try and break some potential killjoy utility. Turret's going to be heard and broken.
Dejazeen got posted down A-long in the midst of all of this, and the Sentinel's garage take is just to try to apply some pressure in that area.
Yeah.
Sassy looks like he's trying to drone, push.
Is really far back.
Yeah, he's conscious that Dejazeen could be here, and he's correct.
Yeah, I mean, the timing there was actually pretty impeccable.
But Dejazeen backs off, and MW fills the gap. So MW is now facing down short, and it means that Furia keep all of that info on A.
And grouped up.
Here.
Sentinels, the end goal looks to be towards B. 45 seconds left. Operator, the reposition of Dejazeen. Claims his target, claims his mark. And this is a fast run around Khalil, though. Taking up the space, smoke in his face. Anyone to clear this one? Dash around the side. Has to be the clearance, has to be the trade. And it is there, but only 2 players left standing. And
30
deep down
seconds
C-long, that's QCK. He's holding it up. This crossfire should not allow anything through. Plant's going to get denied here.
Spike down, C.
And this is over. 20 seconds for Pancada to do the impossible. And he just knows the percentage play. Got to back away, got to keep the rifle.
Gutting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Furia play that defensive
10 seconds
system
left.
really, really nicely.
Giving away his position. You feel Furia, they want to take away that gun on their bonus. Oh. Hunting.
They can't quite find him. No. They think he's gone into spawn, so Pancada's going to be safe for now. Think about that previous round from Sassy's perspective. He's droning in from such a far back position because he's got the read of where Dejazine is. And then Dejazine rotates over and kills him on B. I mean, Sassy's done everything he can to try and force the operator away and create avenues, openings for his team. But the way that Furia have that confidence back, and the confidence enough for MW to just swing short, right? That's the kind of stuff that confidence can really do for you. Fills in the gaps.
Fault line, the recon dart as well, clears up A long, so.
It's been so contacty today from Sentinels on their attack side.
Space taken. This is a difficult task, though. Look at how much they have to get through. Drone's broken, without a second thought. Dash forwards, tends into the back of the side. The Zine can't see a goddamn thing, and he's still being that thorn in the sides, right towards the back. Sassy, though, maintains it. Rifle in his hands, but he haven't cleared out short. It's MW, alive and kicking. And that extra element, that extra layer. He can't open himself up into this angle. He needs some backup from the rest of his team. He needs some help here. Khalil helping to try and redeem, but wow, guess what? MW doesn't even need it.
He's had such a good map here. He's taken over.
Point.
Absolutely taken over. The duo of MW and Dejazine is night and day. Absolute night and day difference between Split and Haven.
There's no way.
Both of them? Both of those kills?
One enemy remaining.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Spike spot.
And this map is over. Yeah. At this point, Furia, they've got 8 chances at being able to put it away, and Sentinels have not been able to come up with a response.
It's just too hard. The expectations, you know. Sure, you can prep, but you can have theory, ideas of how you want to take it against Furia's compound of playing, but it's testing, even for the most veteran players.
Yeah, this is a team with a ton of experience, but none of them with a huge amount against a composition like this. Forces you to think on your feet, and that's the challenge for Sentinels right now. They're still figuring out their IGL situation.
Yeah. Drone forwards, clearing.
Revealing area.
Looks like a bait. For a bait, yeah. Okay, well, it does force out a reckoning, while there's the Sen. Lurking, creeping, crawling through onto the A side. Khalil, though, he's got his setup. Here's the dash active. Wants to activate some of his util to prevent them from moving forwards and closer, but his job is just to stall this.
And he will stall long enough for them to set up a 3-player flank. So this is a really unusual way of approaching this. One of them's got an operator in hand.
And Kada, ADS does not save him.
MW looks so clean today.
Yep. Removing that threat and out of flank. And start to just apply the pressure from every single side. Anti-flash played. Tucked to the corner. So, okay, breach flash re-clears. Shorty though, Dejazine. Short work. And now still applying it. Sassy alive in the middle of all of this. It's Marv who contains, finding the fights. Gondules won. What a pop-off. Yeah, gotta say, quite impressed with that one.
Yeah, Sassy plays that situation under a ton of pressure very nicely. He was able to find 3 kills whilst being attacked from multiple angles at the default position. So Sentinels hang on.
They do hang on.
7 chances.
7 chances.
Circle it.
Got to take it 1 round at a time.
Turret out.
But for Furia, not down to the weaker gun still. Have that operator, holding on to it. These are the rounds that you can start to take those risks. Pick apart the team. And they only need the one.
Here.
And talking about taking risks, it's a double push down C long here for Khalil and QCK. So they're playing aggressive on both wings of the map.
This area is not being watched, by the way. There's no utility from Sen.
Yeah, it's Marv's job usually.
But he is watching a lobby. He's on a swivel. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough for him, actually. Pancada's not really holding too much. He's trying to hold for any kind of mid-push. All right, now that Sassy picks up a lobby, Marv can have a go, you know, clear this area back out again.
Close corner, though. If he attempts a lurk, oh, he's going to be punished. Do you clear this? Astral form?
They're coming
Side by
over to C
side.
split.
I mean, everything comes down to this. But I just don't think you clear this corner, do you, Sassy? Yeah, it's a hard clearance. The trade is there, but it's labored.
That also means no recon dart to clear out QCK's position.
69 health. Rolling Thunder. Pushing forwards. Marv dies. The deep flank here. This is it. It's curtains, surely. 30 remaining in the round. Spikes drop down. And it's so unfavorable. Picked up. Second has the rifle. Jiggle of the movement. MW's just got to try and stay alive. Doesn't win that fight. 20. Left in the round. Got to run. Got to move. And Dajazine knows he can get this timing now. The sight line.
Can he get there in time?
Can he get there in time? Jiggle. Spotted. There it is. Removed. 10 seconds left. Spikes in no man's land. And it's sealed up. It's done. It's dusted. Pancada realizes it. Weapons drop to the ground. And Furia winning that map. Dominant fashion here. Taking it to that third. And for Sentinels, you can feel it. The despair kicking in. It was out of their hands before, Josh, for the playoff chances, even if they won in that 2-0 fashion. But now it's just, I mean, listen, it's more likely that a meteor strikes.
I mean, still possible.
Still possible.
Still possible.
Still possible.
Don't give up on the hope. But yeah, Fury have done a great job there, bouncing back from the pressure that was on their shoulders during split and the confidence issues that it seemed like they were having on map 1. They had players that just took over. Dajazine and MW dominated that map. The method with which they play it, the composition they've chosen, it all works well. And with that map win, they now jump up massively their chances of making it into playoffs.
Yeah.
If they got 2-0'd, it was like 12% chance. Now it's 62.5.
Shoots all the way up.
Enormous, enormous improvement in Fury's chances to make the playoffs.
Great way to get back into this one here. Wow. Time for a quick break. When we return, the analysts are going to get us ready for that critical map number 3. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.